In a battle spanning centuries, Shawn inherits a dark legacy bound to ancient forces as he confronts the terrifying world of the JINN to protect his family and uncover the secrets of his bloodline. At the dawn of the 20th century, in the depths of India, Jahangir, a resolute man, enters a humble cabin hidden among the trees to confront a defiant JINN waiting inside. As he steps in, Jahangir fervently recites an Arabic prayer, weaving a protective veil around himself as he approaches. His demand is clear. He insists on the release of a young woman imprisoned by the JINN. In a gesture of defiance, the JINN rises and turns towards him, advancing with a latent threat in the air. The JINN reveals that he has buried a body at the behest of his adversary and now claims dominion over it. Suddenly, a storm breaks out and the JINN collapses. However, as Jahangir approaches to inspect, he is abruptly attacked. In a desperate move, Jahangir smashes a bottle of holy water over the head of the JINN, who, consumed by rage, swears eternal vengeance against his descendants. Over a century later in Michigan, Shawn and Jasmine, a couple enjoying their happiness, face a puzzling enigma. An anonymous package arrives for Shawn as an early birthday gift. Inside, they find a note accompanied by an old VHS tape. That same night, Shawn notices a shadow lurking beyond the window. Jasmine mentions she has seen it for a couple of days, though she suspects it's just a cardboard cutout. The next day, while Shawn excitedly shares his recent promotion and plans for fatherhood, Jasmine sorrowfully confesses that they cannot have children, leaving Shawn devastated and confused. Alone in his office, he decides to play the tape, where he encounters a video of his father warning him of strange events and insisting on the urgency of seeking specialized help. In the recording, Shawn's father reveals an ominous burden. If Shawn is watching this message, it means his father has failed to overcome evil forces and protect their lineage. Now, the duty to safeguard his loved ones and confront this dark legacy falls on Shawn. As he returns home, the disturbing sound of noises outside accompanies him, and a disconcerting voice whispers Jasmine's name behind him, heightening his anxiety. Upon arriving, Shawn finds his home transformed with furniture stacked in unusual ways and no trace of Jasmine. Baffled, he contacts the police. During the questioning, Jasmine returns explaining she had simply gone out for a walk, which leads Shawn to apologize to the officers for the confusion. He then tells Jasmine how he found the door locked from the inside, highlighting the absence of signs of an intrusion. That night, chaos ensued once again with the furniture disarrayed. Shawn, while drinking orange juice, discovers the mess and calls Jasmine. At that moment, they both spot the ominous shadow that had been mentioned earlier, just before an intense light bursts in the house, prompting them to flee outside. An urgent call instructs them to head to the cathedral on Road Long Lake. Upon arriving at the cathedral, they meet Gabriel, who assures them that they are safe there. Intrigued, Shawn asks him how he knows who they are. At that moment, Father Westhoff appears, and a confused Jasmine inquires about the events. Gabriel reveals he is the sender of the tape and, in response to Shawn's skepticism, performs an impressive trick to substantiate his claims, introducing them to the mysterious world of the JINN, and revealing that 3 of these entities were created at the dawn of time. Humans molded from clay, angels from luminous essence, and a third entity forged in flames known as the JINN represent the creatures of the cosmos. It is the latter, the JINN, that dangerously stalks them. Wrapped in confusion, Shawn inquires about the reason for such persecution. His father, revealing ancient secrets, explains that a dark JINN prophecy looms over him, knowledge that his great-grandfather possessed, and now places him in the eye of the storm. With grave seriousness, his father hands him a dagger, urging him to use it as a shield in critical moments. He also assures him of divine protection within any religious sanctuary. Before setting off, he advises Shawn to inquire about Father Westhoff by asking passers-by. Alarmed, Shawn turns to his adoptive parents and shares his disturbing discovery about the JINN. Surprised, they inform him that Father Westhoff, pivotal in his adoption, had hinted at a verse related to the JINN. Armed with this new clue, Shawn sets out to seek allies, but Jasmine, fearful, suggests they better hide. Situation becomes critical when an invisible force violently bursts in, abducting Jasmine. As Shawn tries to save her, he is lifted into the air by the same hidden power. A menacing figure materializes before him, proclaiming the fall of the sons of Adam and the rise of the JINN. However, Shawn, far from being intimidated, confronts the assailant with the dagger, forcing its disappearance. After the confrontation, Shawn finds Father Westhoff and tells him about the attack. He confesses his confusion, as despite the warnings, the JINN showed no fear. The priest then reveals the existence of an ancient JINN scroll that prophesies the emergence of a supreme entity that will unite men and JINN in a new golden age. But the weight of this revelation, Shawn, accompanied by a new ally, Gabriel, sets out in search of those who might have the answers. During their journey, Gabriel introduces him to the secrets of the Scianti, a sect of jinn that worships dark figures. In the world of the jinn, those with extraordinary abilities are feared, and only men of firm resolution, brave hearts, and sharp minds can discern their presence. Among these notable warriors, Jahangir Amin, Shawn's great-grandfather and the last of these intrepid men, left his mark a century ago, determined to rescue a young woman abducted by the fearsome Scianti, whom not only pursue him but also threaten the world's balance. Shawn is guided by Gabriel to meet Ali. Ali, impressed by Shawn's resemblance to his father, shares a shocking revelation during their encounter. Jasmine, Shawn's wife, is expecting their child. Throughout the generations, the jinn have tracked the recipient of an ancient prophecy, whose rare and powerful blood could fulfill it. Trusting in Gabriel, Ali informs that Shawn must face and overcome the Chilla, a trial of character and valor. With abilities that transcend the natural, Ali transports Shawn to a different realm, warning him that he must traverse dimensions to succeed. In this new reality, a defiant jinn appears, seeking to instill fear. Ali instructs him to keep his composure, explaining that fear consumed him during his own Chilla, allowing the jinn to corrupt his mind and torture him incessantly, despite his efforts to protect Shawn. In a revealing twist, Ali identifies himself as his uncle, another descendant of Jahangir. The situation becomes even more dangerous when Ali detects the presence of a jinn spy, preparing to attack. Amidst the chaos, he urges them to flee. Gabriel confronts the enemy as they move away from the place. As they leave the building, Gabriel makes a final plea to Shawn, not to look back, no matter what happens behind him. As they vanish into the distance, it is revealed that Gabriel, his companion and protector, is actually a jinn. Using his abilities, he holds back the jinns and begins to annihilate them one by one. However, he discovers that Shawn has left the car keys inside the building. He then uses his magic to send the keys to Shawn, sacrificing himself in the process. Later, when Shawn meets Father Westhoff, he reveals that Gabriel also belonged to the race of jinns, being one of the rare allies of humanity, and that it was he who guided him to that place after the death of his parents. Now, he presents Shawn with two paths: to remain under the protection of ecclesiastical walls, or to face his destiny. The Chilla will give him the ability to approach the Scianti, share their paths, see through their eyes, and act like them. He points out that the blade of his sword is forged with a metal emanated from the fire of the jinns, similar to the pendant he wears. This weapon, although partially existing in his dimension, has the ability to cut in theirs. Father Westhoff also warns him that the Chilla is a physical, mental, and spiritual confrontation of fear, personalized for each individual based on their deepest memories and fears. To face it, he will need Zamzam water, a sacred liquid from Mecca that once saved Abraham's son and acts as a poison to the Scianti jinns. By reciting the verse he is about to learn, he will initiate the Chilla, and they will manifest, using his worst fears to prevent him from completing it. If he emerges from the Chilla mentally unscathed, he will know what the next step is. Shawn heads to a secluded place to carry out the Chilla. However, a jinn that adopts his same appearance appears and threatens to stalk him until the end of time. In response, Shawn draws a protective circle that makes the jinn vanish. He then starts the Chilla, and, as he chants the verses, Jasmine arrives at the location. Jasmine confesses to Shawn that she managed to escape, and that it was Father Westhoff who told her where to find him. She pleads with him to stop the Chilla and to look into her eyes. However, at that moment, a jinn attacks her. Despite the attack, Shawn continues reciting the verses, discovering that the figure of Jasmine is nothing more than a jinn mocking him, calling him a coward like his father. Moments later, Shawn crosses into another dimension and encounters a jinn that assumes his own image. This jinn informs him that all his loved ones have disappeared, and that, just like in the beginning, now only he remains. It offers him power and the option to become a king, with countless descendants from numerous Jasmines. However, Shawn rejects the offer, stating that he only longs for his true Jasmine and demands to know her whereabouts. The jinn warns him about an imminent war that neither humans nor jinns will be able to avoid. In the meantime, the same jinn appears before Ali, but he reveals that his Chilla has ended and that tonight, everyone will perish. Shawn leaves the circle after completing his Chilla, and as he walks away, the jinn assures him that they will never meet again, declaring that although he offered mercy and power, now only death awaits him. Shawn drives away while the jinn follows him. Meanwhile, Father Westhoff is in prayer when the jinn arrives and informs him that the conflict is solely between his lord and Shawn. When Shawn arrives at his home, he finds Ali waiting for him. Together, they try to prevent the jinn's entry, and Shawn recites verses from the study of his house. Nonetheless, the jinn manages to enter and appears before them. It tries to attack Shawn, but Ali intervenes to protect him. Shawn then throws Zamzam water on the jinn, but surprisingly, this does not affect it and ends up knocking Ali down. In a decisive moment, Shawn is ambushed by an otherworldly entity that strangles him, seeking to incapacitate him. Unexpectedly, Shawn finds himself in an unknown dimension where he witnesses a jinn holding an infant, which abruptly vanishes from his sight. With determination and wielding a dagger, Shawn advances towards the jinn to confront him, but is knocked down. Despite being subjected to torment, he manages to grab his weapon again and wound the jinn. Far from being satisfied with merely injuring him, Shawn charges at the jinn again, managing to triumph by smashing a bottle of Zamzam water over its head. Back in his reality, Shawn overcomes the jinn and leaps from a window directly into a swimming pool, which is also filled with Zamzam water, defeating it once again. At that moment, Gabriel appears, rescues Shawn from the pool, and revives him with his supernatural abilities. As jinn from multiple dimensions begin to approach, Shawn, ready for the confrontation, eliminates one as a warning and demands to know the whereabouts of his wife. Intimidated by his bravery, the jinn decide to retreat. Later, Gabriel leads Shawn to a church where he is reunited with his wife Jasmine, safe and sound. When inquiring about Gabriel with Father Westhoff, he is assured that Gabriel's mission is to protect him and his son at any cost. A year later, in their apartment, Shawn and Jasmine, along with their new son and Ali, are enjoying a charming moment when the baby's pacifier falls to the floor and mysteriously returns to the child's mouth without any intervention. Shawn and Ali look at each other, recognizing that their son has exceptional gifts with the potential to definitively defeat the jinn. The story demonstrates that confronting deep-rooted fears and past legacies requires strength, resolve, and belief in something greater. It teaches that the bonds of family and courage can overcome even the most formidable forces, and that one's actions today can shape the future for generations to come.